In the peaceful room, the Saint is focused on sketching a map. But she's grappling with the realization that using divine power to help the sick is only a short-term fix. She's troubled because new patients keep showing up, and it hits her the increasing cases are like a puzzle, pointing to a contaminated well hidden in the slums. There's a deeper problem causing the constant stream of new illnesses. Her eyes shifted to the emerald potion beside her, and as she pondered its contents, she realized that the bodily fluid of an infected person has a remarkably short incubation period, leading to prolonged suffering before eventual demise. The malicious nature of the potion disturbed her deeply, causing emotional turmoil for an extended duration. In her quest to halt the infection entirely, she recognized the need to concentrate and purify the source, the deepest well. Determined, she mused, if I can create even a single drop by channeling my divine power. Taking a deep breath to regain composure, she interrupted her thoughts, acknowledging, this isn't the moment for me to lose myself in contemplation. There's another person to be treated. Abruptly, her consciousness slipped away and she crumpled to the floor, desperately clutching the table for support. As she struggled to regain her composure, thoughts raced through her mind. Was this anemia, a consequence of harnessing too much divine power? Despite the physical toll, her determination persisted. With a hand pressed to her head, she resolved, but I can still do it. If it's to alleviate the pain the patients experience as soon as possible. With determination, she moved towards the door, flinging it open. To her surprise, 3 familiar nobles encountered in previous episodes stood there. With concern in their eyes, they exclaimed, "Saints, we'll go too. Please don't worry anymore." The saints, unimpressed, questioned their sudden appearance. "What brings you all here?" The nobles earnestly replied, "We came here to help you, saints. How can we leave such a noble lady alone in a low and dirty place?" They proudly announced the arrival of 3 wagons filled with donations and emergency relief, believing they had hit the jackpot. Expressing surprise at the humanity they found in the slums, they shared their concerns about potentially going overboard with their generosity, fearing it might undermine the residents' self-sufficiency. Asserting their duty to protect, they declared, "Anyway, it's a gentleman's duty to protect the lady. We will follow you, saints." Concluding their speech, one noble remarked, "I think we delivered it well. Our intention, that is." The saints, wearing a happy expression, responded, "I will leave it to you all." The nobles blushed, visibly touched by the saints' words. As night fell inside the tent, the nobles covered their noses, repulsed by the infected people and the unpleasant smell. One noble, distressed about stepping on trash, complained about expensive, limited edition shoes. Urgently, they demanded treatment from the priests, expressing concern about potential infection. Unbeknownst to them, the saints overheard their complaints, thinking to herself, "I knew this would happen. It's blasphemous to come to a relief area with ulterior motives. Do they not know that the only thing needed here is empathy for the sick? Absolute and pure altruism, dogmatic sacrifice, a sense to volunteer, kindness and tenderness, these are the closest things to God's grace and love." As the saints proceeds to the next tent, where Vikir is attending to a man, her mind is filled with thoughts. She reflects on the grim reality that lies ahead, with critical patients gathered here, both the sick and the clergy, all destined to endure pain. Apologizing for her absence, she opens the tent curtain, expressing shock, and declares, "I am present now." Her attention is drawn to Vikir, who is using a sharp knife to mark a man's chest. While asking for more saline, the person behind Vikir voices suspicion, exclaiming, "Impossible, wasn't divine power the only thing that could work? Just how many hours has he been with these patients by himself?" Vikir deftly cuts the man's chest, tends to the wound, and stitches it back together with his healing power. However, both the man and the saints remain in shock, that he isn't just blessing the skin. Instead, he's letting the blessing flow into the infected area. The saints contemplates the possibility, realizing that this method might allow her to focus and use divine power. With wide open eyes, she observes the Nighthound and Vikir placing a green herb in the injured man's mouth. The Saints is amazed, realizing Vikir's skill extends beyond divine power into the realm of medicine. Vikir places both hands on the injured man's chest, resembling CPR, and channels extra healing energy. Beads of sweat form on Vikir's face as he diligently tends to the wounded. In the world of divine power, a cleric's prayer is like a gentle request to a god, and upon acceptance, the cleric is bestowed with power. The level of divine power granted corresponds to the cleric's devotion, and it aligns with the magnitude required for performing a miracle. In the world of divine power, it's a straightforward equation. 1 divine power equals 1 miracle. 10 divine power equals 10 miracles. But here's the twist: I've cracked the code on how to unleash 10 miracles with just 1 divine power, and a whopping 100 miracles with 10 divine powers. Picture this. During the fall, monsters overwhelmed us, and the number of patients outnumbered even the monsters. The clerics recognized that the divine power they possessed wasn't enough to halt the impending disaster. Blame it on desperation and wavering faith. So they decided to change the equation to make miracles happen. Now, pay attention and witness the miracles unfolding here and the consequences that follow. Despite the need for divine power to heal, they expended it all with an eagerness that caught my interest. They referred to it as divine power. In a time when slaying monsters was deemed a righteous act, even awakening a monster could justify its use. Thanks to my soul carrying the weight of accumulated karma, I can tap into divine power within a sacred realm. A young girl weeps for her mother, pleading for help. Vikir, standing beside her, assures, "I'll take care of your mom," hands her a gold coin, and adds, "She's not only sick but also malnourished. Use this to get food, firewood, and take care of your mom." Behind Vikir, a man is shocked and protests. Materialistic help is not allowed. Monetary demands are never ending. You might end up giving away all your money to them. People in the room exchange uneasy glances, some even looking at Vikir with a mix of shock and concern, one muttering, "To be honest, I'm scared of that kind of reaction. Damn." Vikir calmly remarked, "Why question something that's inherently limitless?" The man found Vikir's response perplexing. With a pouch full of gold coins, Vikir added, "There's a limit to how much money I have. I can only give them what I have." As Vikir observed the little girl's mother, he couldn't hide his concern. Like a doctor exiting a hospital room, he somberly stated, "I'm sorry." The Saints, taken aback, wondered why he apologized and what he was sorry for. In a flashback, Vikir's words echo, emphasizing that theology is essentially the process of understanding humans, an inevitable journey. The Saints contemplates, wondering if Vikir shares a similar reason with her, perhaps the inability to treat more people. A burst of yellow divine power emanates from the Saints, disturbing Vikir's vision. He shields his eyes as the Saints moves forward, making a hand gesture for prayer. She introduces herself, the 16-year-old girl who's still young and inexperienced, Saint Dolores. Dolores is overwhelmed with emotion for the people affected by the Red Death, her eyes welling up with tears. As she witnesses the mysterious man before her, her heart begins to race with an unfamiliar intensity. The following morning, Vikir sits in the forest, taking off his mask and attempting to drink water. His solitude is interrupted when Saints arrive at the scene. Vikir swiftly puts his mask back on and questions Saints about the purpose of their visit. Saints, now seated beside Vikir, expresses her desire to talk. She conveys her gratitude for Vikir's assistance, stating that thanks to him, they were able to attend to all the casualties. Vikir humbly responds, saying he merely did what was necessary. Saints appears anxious as she tightly clutches her clothes. She voices her uncertainty, expressing to Vikir that someone as powerful as him should have been born with inherent divine abilities. She reveals that she was bestowed with divine power, but admits that her body, mind, and faith are not as robust. In her distress, she questions why God chose a seemingly weak person like her to be a saint. She reflects on the existence of many individuals with unwavering faith, even though they were not born with divine power. Saints wonders aloud why God has granted her the elevated title of a saint when there are countless others who might seem more deserving of such a designation. In response to her emotional state, Vikir asserted that her anguish and guilt were the very qualities that led God to choose her. This revelation left her in shock. Vikir, observing her surprise, commented on the world's need for a light that could penetrate even the darkest and most challenging places. The saints, her eyes filled with tears, questioned whether she could truly become the person capable of such illumination. Vikir, with confidence, assured her, "You will." Shifting the narrative, it recounts the aftermath of the Quo Vadis family's clergy gathering for prayers. The collective efforts yielded success as all processes involved in creating holy water concluded positively. This divine essence, known as Kan's Taverd or Saint's Tears, possessed the remarkable ability to purify all the infected within the slums with just a single drop. The creation included 3 drops of concentrated holy water, along with reserves for future use. In the presence of Kan's Taverd, Saints genuflects and begins to pray, imploring for the well-being of everyone present. As she kneels, she speaks, "Behold, the woman whose son is the one and only is here. I, unfortunately, had to nurture and endured the wails through the night, lasting until the next." Torn by immense agony, her heart struggling to keep pace, she declares, "Today is the most agonizing and sorrowful day for me." A radiant yellow aura emanates from her body, filling the room with a divine light, a testament to her extraordinary power. Acknowledging the gravity of the situation, she hands a box containing 3 potions of Saint's Tears to the knights, affirming, "I will leave this to you." In gratitude, a knight responds, "Thank you for your hard work, Saintses. We will ensure to store this safely in the basement's secure vault." Deep in contemplation about her next course of action, Saints casts her gaze upon a statue of a praying father. She approaches the figure and addresses him, "Father, I have come to report something about the Red Death." The father responds warmly, urging her to come closer, calling her, "My fairy, my daughter." With a gentle tap on Saint's shoulder, he acknowledges, "You've made a large offering this time, as expected." In this moment, a new character is introduced, Cardinal Humbert Lun Quo Vadis, representing the Lune Church. Humbert Lun Quo Vadis inquires, "Now, tell me what happened." Saints responds, "Firstly, we are planning to use the Saint's Tears that we created to purify all of the water flowing underneath Saint Mecca." As Humbert Lun Quo Vadis probes about the source of the infection, Saints explains, "Yes, it originated from an unregistered well in the slums." The children testified, mentioning that a spirit had cursed the well. The well itself was severely infected, and we discovered the glass bottle that the culprit used to store and spread the infection. Continuing her account, she reveals, "Upon investigating that area, we found a suspicious object." Saint's presents the purple dagger found near the well, adding, "We also have information about this dagger from previous episodes." Humbert reacts sharply to the discovery of the dagger, exclaiming, "This is the emblem of both Leviathan and Bourgeois. They really do get along well." His anger intensifies as he contemplates how they could create an artificial virus. Outraged, he denounces the individuals responsible as lowly poison addicts and misers insulting divinity. The air around him becomes charged with a menacing atmosphere, and he declares, with a glowing eye, that they have declared war. Saint steps forward and declares the man as a bloodhound, while Humbert, suspicious, urges to catch him immediately and make him confess every single detail with an angry gaze. Taking Vikir's side, Saints, with anger in her eyes, asserts, "He is innocent." Humbert questions her, asking, "What are you saying?" With a surge of anger, Saints passionately defends Vikir, stating, "He's someone who did his best to treat the infected. The reason why there weren't any casualties is because of him. There's no way he's evil." Her words resonate with conviction. In response, Humbert calmly remarks, "For my daughter, who has never gone against me, to say that." He decides to personally interrogate Vikir and raises his hand to the sky, invoking divine power that creates a thunder and lightning effect. The radiant light is so intense that it impacts the entire town. Humbert states, "My daughter, it's meaningless even if you go against me since I've already sent the paladins to go after him." Despite Saint's defense of Vikir, Humbert has taken a firm stance, sending his paladins to apprehend the accused. Following Humbert's orders, the paladins head towards Vikir's location and forcefully kick open his room door. To their surprise, the room is empty. Shouting at the absence of Vikir, they accuse, "Nighthound, you're a suspect of causing the Red Death." In the midst of this, a man rushes towards Humbert, urgently reporting, "Cardinal, something bad has happened." Concerned, Humbert inquires, "What's wrong?" The man reveals one of the saint's tears is missing from the basement. Humbert connects the dots and declares, "Now you know why he came here." Meanwhile, Vikir is seen on the rooftop, holding the tier of saints, expressing gratitude, and then making a swift exit from the scene. We are taken back to a moment from Ayan's childhood, where she stands at the mountain's edge, attempting to take down a three-headed beast with her arrow. Other tribe members rush to help, but they arrive too late. Ayan's footing gives way, and she plummets from the mountain. Now you might be thinking survival is impossible, but not in Ayan's case. As Ayan gradually opens her eyes, the scene unfolds with two men standing before her, conversing in an unfamiliar language. Little does she know, she has become a captive, taken as a slave. The scene shifts to Ayan, gripping a sword as she prepares to confront a man who is 100 times larger than her. The man charges at her, but with a perfect shoulder cut, she skillfully dodges his attack. However, the man swiftly retaliates, grabbing her by the leg and hurling her into the wall, causing her to cough up some blood. The entire crowd bursts into laughter as Ayan lies on the ground, tears streaming down her face. Thoughts of her tribe flood her mind, fueled by the mocking laughter around her. Determined, she rises, marking her face with a tattoo resembling her tribe's sign, a symbol of defiance. Rage consumes her as she glares at the men. Skipping ahead, the details of what unfolded remain unknown, but she eventually finds herself captured and imprisoned. It's a part of her past that we're already familiar with, as Vikir later intervenes to rescue her. She suddenly woke up on her mom's lap, and her mom, the Night Fox, asked if she had a nightmare or if she kept looking for Vikir in her sleep. Ayan replied, "Mother, the pain is getting worse. My chest hurts and my body is burning up. It feels like my heart has dried up. Do I have the Red Death? I can't have it. It's so painful that I regret being born." Her mother recounts, "Child, in the distant past, your father and I planted a small seed in the ground. Every day, your father and I nurtured that seed. Before we knew it, the seed blossomed into a mantha and bean meal flower, with Ayan shedding tears." Continuing, her mother shares, "After harvesting the flowers, extracting the sap, and indulging in it, we experienced moments of joy and euphoria. That's how your existence came to be. Unfortunately, due to a misdeed, your father faced execution by your grandfather. My health has worsened, my child. Life is unpredictable. You simply have to live it." She patted Ayan's head and said, "Just wait a little." When Vikir returns after finding a way to treat the infection, Ayan emotionally replied, "You don't need to comfort me. Vikir won't come back, mother." While outside, someone shouts, "He's back. Vikir has returned with the medicine." Ayan's mother praises her daughter, saying, "See, my daughter, I told you." Ayan instantly rushes out, leaving her mother in frustration. She didn't have the Red Death? In the realm of past recollections, Ayan's eyes welled with tears as she recounted, "To be honest, I was quite terrified back then." She reminisced about the confrontation with Madame Eight Legs, where the courage displayed left a lasting impression. Ayan continued her narrative, "You demonstrated how to confront fears, and it was in that moment that I seized you. Thanks to your resilience, I found the strength to stand tall once again." In the present moment, as Ayan crosses paths with Vikir, he inquires, "I heard you got the Red Death, Ayan." However, Ayan, without a moment's hesitation, rushes towards Vikir, enveloping him in a warm embrace. The two tumbles to the ground, their ongoing conversation filling the air. Ayin, nestled comfortably against Vikir's chest, extends a warm welcome, marking his return with a sense of ease and familiarity. The scene transitions to Ahun's tent, where Vikir sits alongside Ahun's sister. In Vikir's hands, he unfolds a pouch brimming with divine power, containing the tears of the saints stolen in previous episodes. Harnessing the potent energy of saints' tears, he skillfully uses it to remedy Ahun's sister's affliction, the Red Death. Observing the miraculous effect, Ahun can hardly contain her excitement. Ahun eagerly rushes to her sister, calling out her name, urging her to wake up. "Ahuls, wake up," Ahun implores, witnessing the positive transformation brought about by the healing power derived from saints' tears. The joy spread among the tribe members as Vikir successfully healed Ahun's sister. Turning his attention to the broader picture, Vikir inquired about the remaining patients. "How many patients do we have left, and how many belong to our tribe?" he asked. Ayin replied, "Including Ahuls, we have about 30. However, the gravity of the situation became apparent in Ayin's next words. "It's really bad. There are many other tribes on the brink of annihilation," she lamented, highlighting the widespread and dire nature of the health crisis affecting not only their own tribe, but others as well. Vikir, addressing Ayin, mentioned, "So around 10,000. Tell the other tribes to gather the sick." In response, Ayin questioned, "The other tribes? Do you have large quantities of the cure?" Vikir replied affirmatively, stating, "Yes, I can. I have large quantities." The news brought joy to all the tribe members, prompting expressions of gratitude as they thanked Vikir for his ability to provide ample amounts of the cure. Vikir, seeking information, asked about the swamp monster. "Its name was Ka, right?" he inquired. With confidence, he added, "I killed it on the way here, so go and bring it back as food." The revelation left the entire tribe astonished at Vikir's prowess, marveling at how he could defeat such a formidable creature. Amidst the shock, praises echoed through the tribe, with admiration for Vikir's remarkable skills. Following the acknowledgement, Vikir swiftly redirected their focus, stating, "We don't have time. Tell the other tribes to gather around the river catchment area." The scene shifted to the catchment area, where all the tribe members had gathered. Vikir stood ready, holding the saints' tear, prepared to infuse it into the water. Finally, Vikir mixed the saints' tear in the water, causing the entire water body to undergo a transformation, turning it a vibrant yellow. Addressing the assembled tribe, Vikir instructed everyone to drink the water. As each member followed the directive and consumed the infused water, the immediate effect was evident. The Red Death affliction that had plagued them was swiftly remedied. The entire tribe was now restored to good health, thanks to Vikir's intervention with the saints' tear. Vikir informed Night Fox that the purification process was spreading from the catchment area, indicating that the bacteria would soon disappear. Night Fox, acknowledging Vikir's role, remarked, "Vikir, I should appoint you as our tribe's shaman." However, Vikir declined the offer. Suddenly, a heavy footstep drew Vikir's attention. A man with red hair and robust muscles appeared, demanding answers from the people of the deep forest. "Answer me, what's the name of the hero who purified the forest?" he inquired. In unison, the entire tribe responded with the word Vikir, causing the sky to be covered with the resounding name of Vikir. In Vikir's perspective, the wicked deeds committed by the deadly Poison clan turned into a fortuitous situation. The Baskerville clan, known for pioneering and subjugating the La Rouse et Le Noir mountain, also had a long-standing rivalry with the natives of the La Couga et Le Noir mountain. If Vikir could win over and repay the natives, it would not only be a significant blow to the entire Baskerville clan, but also a strategic move against their leader, the Nenati. Seizing this opportunity, Vikir contemplated how he could use it to land a substantial blow on Hugo, the leader of the Baskerville clan. Night Fox, catching wind of Vikir's plans, announced, "A festival will start from today. Prepare for a grand celebration." Vikir replied, "Before that, there's one more thing I need to do," leaving Ayin and his mother perplexed. He continued, "Don't we need to find the one who spread the poison in the forest?" Meanwhile, in a dark shadow, a man spoke of the time that had passed, expressing belief that everyone should have been infected by now. He expressed regret for striking a deal with the Imperial druggies and blamed the entire situation on an Imperial brat. The man revealed a sinister plan, stating, "The moment when everyone is in despair, I'll cure the infection with the antidote, so the whole tribe would have no choice but to look at me with respect and reverence." I knew infecting Ahules was a good idea. No one would suspect me of infecting my own granddaughter after all. The mysterious figure was none other than the shaman responsible for spreading the Red Death, unveiling a sinister motive behind his actions. The shaman, convinced of the perfection of his plan, went to see the tribe, expecting them to be in distress due to the Red Death. To his astonishment, the tribe members were not only healthy but also enjoying themselves. Bewildered, he exclaimed, "How are they all fine? I was sure they were all gasping for air because of the Red Death right before we commenced the ancestral rite." His confusion deepened as he observed Ahules cooking, wondering aloud, "And Ahules? What on earth is going on?" Rushing towards the water where Vikir had mixed the saints' tears, the shaman was shocked to find the river purified. He questioned, "How are the fishes in the river alive? The river was purified? No, I think the water has gotten even clearer." Grabbing his head in disbelief, he pondered the impossibility of the situation. Suddenly, Vikir appeared close to the shaman's ear, taunting, "The river's rather clear now, shaman, isn't it?" The shaman, infuriated, exclaimed, "You, imperial bastard! This rascal, when did he?" To his surprise, he realized the entire tribe was present, and he had fallen into a trap. The tribe confronted the shaman, revealing the deception and bringing his sinister plans to light. As Vikir's thoughts unraveled the truth about the person behind the Red Death in the forest, he concluded, "As expected, it was you, Ahuman." Before I regressed, there was a time where stories about an old man living in the forest and his misdeeds were trending. It was a horrible story of a man who had spread an infection within his tribe due to his desire to become a hero. In turn, he couldn't cure it and killed most of his tribe's people. So that was you, Ahuman. The shaman, feeling the weight of suspicion, hastily thought, "Wait, no, there's no way he knows. Did everyone come here to greet the old shaman?" Skeptical of Vikir's accusations, the shaman tried to downplay the situation. Night Fox then approached the shaman and inquired about the ceremony. Ahuman nervously replied, "Oh, of course, the infection will soon disappear." However, Night Fox mentioned information he had heard about a war between clans in the Empire due to the artificial creation and spread of the infection. Puzzled, Night Fox questioned, "But isn't that strange? Between the Imperial clan and the Deep Forest? I really don't see the connection and the reason why the infection was spread." The shaman, caught in the web of his own deceit, faced increasing scrutiny as the pieces of the puzzle started to come together. The shaman, now visibly frightened, stammered, "That's something I wouldn't know. I only just came after performing the rite for the sake of the tribe's complete recovery." The unease in his voice betrayed the growing tension. Night Fox, sensing something amiss, inquired further, "Then why did you come here instead of the village?" The shaman, feeling the pressure intensify, became even more apprehensive, realizing that his actions were under scrutiny and the truth might soon be revealed. Night Fox turned to Vikir, addressing him with a probing tone, "Vikir, as you said, Ahuman really did come to the catchment area. Let's see if whatever you said next is right." The shaman, looking visibly uneasy, interjected, "What are you talking about?" Vikir, who had already revealed Ahuman's intentions to everyone, asserted confidently, "Ahuman wants to use this incident to become the tribe's hero, so he will definitely have it." As Night Fox's aura intensified, he declared, "The cure to the Red Death, Ahuman. I want to see what's in your pouch." The shaman, sensing the impending exposure of his deceit, became even more fearful at Night Fox's request.
Thanks for watching KingLeywin channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and leave the comment until the next video.